Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Mitch Deering, and you're probably here because you're trying to find out ways to run faster for your sport, or for are you trying to make your child faster? You're trying to, or yourself to trying to run faster. There are five different things that you need to do, and so you're at the right place that's going to let you know. You're gonna find out, how to become a faster runner. So at the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do and how to become a faster runner just in general. Okay, so before I go into the top five ways, I want to first just tell you and talk to you about myself, just let you know who I am, and just so you get an understanding of my philosophy. Actually, it's not my philosophy, but I've been a track coach for about 8 years now, and I first started out in middle school. And I have to say, when I first started out, I had the big head, or I thought that I was the best coach, a speed coach ever. I thought that I knew everything about running. I thought that I just knew everything. My track team, we went out and we would just beat everybody. We never lost a race. We would beat our teams, our competition for about 30 minutes in certain events, and just it was just phenomenal. So by doing that, I thought that I would put a team together and go run over the summer in the AAU meet. So by when we first went there to the meet, to the AAU meet. And if you're not familiar with AAU, it's the Amateur Athletic Union, which is the top runners in youth. They run at those meets. So, but I wanted to take my group over there because I figured that, hey, I got a fast team. I never lost a race, so I'm going to take them to a meet. So we get to the meet and we run our first event, which is the 4x1 relay, and we get smoked. I mean, they beat us by maybe 30 meters or so. And I'm looking at my runners and I'm like, we just ran our best time ever. And these guys blew us out. And it got me thinking, I was like, how are these kids so fast? Because their form and their technique, um, it was just, they look like pro athletes, and my kids look like guys who just got off a bus to go and just go and run a track meet. We just got off the bus to go run a track meet. And I was just like, I couldn't believe, I couldn't believe how in the world can I get blown out like this? My kids, they look very mediocre compared to the other athletes that they had. So it got me thinking, and I said, these coaches are teaching their athletes something that I'm not teaching my athletes. So I went on this quest for some knowledge, and I became a certified youth speed and agility specialist. And also I became a USA track and field level one track coach, certified track coach. I'm also a high school certified track coach, and I've been a personal trainer for about 8 years. Actually, not sorry, about 12 years now. Okay, so I got these certifications because I wanted to find out exactly what I needed to do to make my athletes just like their athletes, even faster. I wanted to get the skills to produce fast, fast athletes that don't have limitations. And I wanted just to get that knowledge so I can take anybody that's been like sitting on the couch and just doing nothing and turn them into an elite athlete. So with these certifications, I learned exactly what to do, and I've been able to create, just fast athletes that other coaches thought that the athletes, they probably shouldn't be running, or they have no kind of idea of speed development, or just taking kids that no one else would take because they felt like they had no chance of becoming faster. And then in turn, in 6 months time, in turn, or 3 months, sometimes 3 months, but within a year, they're the fastest person ever. Not ever, but the fastest person locally and in AAU. So let's go ahead and look at the top five ways to run faster, because after you do this, guys, you're gonna get an understanding of how to create insane athletes, elite athletes, and you're gonna be able to do this over and over again, even to yourself, to somebody else. It doesn't matter. So I'm gonna talk about the top 5 ways to run faster. Now, the first area that I focus on, you have to focus on, is called strength training. So if you're not focused on strength training, you're not allowing your athletes to become faster. So the whole purpose of strength training is to apply more force to the ground. So if we're trying to apply more force in regards to speed development, we have to you have to become a stronger athlete. Now, let me give you an example here. If you have an athlete, I'm going to draw you a picture here. If you have an athlete, one athlete is, let's say, athlete A, and you have athlete B here, okay? And this first athlete, they weigh 150 pounds, okay? Well, both athletes weigh 150 pounds here. All right, I know I'm drawing kind of slow, so I'm using a little mouse here. So both athletes weigh 150 pounds. Athlete A can apply 200 pounds of force, okay? And athlete B can apply 300 pounds of force to the ground. Which athlete is going to be the faster runner? Obviously, it's going to be athlete B over here because they can apply more force to the ground, and that's the whole purpose of strength training. We have to lift weights or have some kind of resistance that's going to help our athletes become stronger. If not, we're just doing long workouts and our athletes are not reaching their full potential, because we're not talking about just making somebody fast, overnight. We're talking about creating an elite athlete, a person that can play football, that can play basketball, that can run track, that can just dominate each sport just in regards to speed, strength. Okay, so we have to get into that mindset of not just speed is not just running. It's about creating a complete, total athlete, an elite athlete, and that elite athlete in turn will be the best athlete ever. Okay, so this is the first thing, and this is the most important thing that you have to get an understanding of, because strength training is, in my opinion, it's number one. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Also, before I move on, strength training, guys, you have to have a complete system, or a system of progressions that's going to allow that person to progress from general to advanced. Okay, so when I say general, I'm talking about beginner. All right, so you have to have a system in place, and there's so many different systems. Don't worry about that. But I will later on. I will show you something where you can get a complete system of strength training. So let's go ahead and look at it the next phase. So we're talking about the second way is speed training. Now, speed training, it can be, the definition of speed is getting to one place at a fast time. That's the layman's definition for it. So you have to learn how to run, and that's what speed training is. You can do it by running hills, pulling sleds. You can do it by um, fly runs. There are a lot of different drills that you can do to help a person to learn how to run or move their body faster. Okay, so that's speed training. All right, and there are 3 different phases of running. I won't get into that right now because that's a whole nother video. But in regards to how to train, speed training, pulling sleds, just getting the body to move at a fast rate. That's what speed training does, and you have to do it in order if you want to be an elite athlete. So we have to strength train. That's one. Two, we gotta do some speed training, which is running hills, resistance sprints, anything like that. I'm pretty sure you heard of that. And that's the majority of where everybody does. All right. So the third thing that we have to do is coordination training. So coordination training, in regards to speed, is learning the skill. Okay, because coordination is just a skill set. So we're talking about sprinting. That's what coordination is. We're talking about the skill is sprinting. So we have to learn how to sprint. Now, this goes, when I say learn how to sprint, there's a progression that you have to take in learning how, and learning that movement pattern of sprinting. All right. Now, in regards to basketball, coordination training in basketball will be shooting, dribbling, passing. Baseball, it would be catching up the baseball. It will be hitting the baseball in track and field, or or football. It could be sprinting, catching the football, running, those type of things. So if you're trying to learn how to sprint, you have to learn the progressions of how to sprint, and you have to learn those skills. So you have to be able to move your body in a certain movement pattern. For football, track is in everything else. Coordination training, you have to use coordination training. That can be doing agility ladders. That could be just anything that's going to help that person move in that certain pattern, that's going to enhance their ability to become faster, or shoot better or whatnot. So, but in regards to speed development or running faster, you have to have a system of progressions that's going to teach that person to have the right running mechanics, or the right, it's going to teach them to run better. All right. So you have to have coordination training. So let's go ahead and look at number four. Number four is endurance training. So if you're not doing some kind of endurance training with your athletes, the athletes they'll get tired. They won't be able to run for a long time. They won't have a great performance because they're so tired all the time. So we have to make sure that our athletes are conditioned for sprinting, or for baseball, for football, and whatnot. It's for every single sport. We're talking about building. Remember, we're talking about building an elite athlete, and not just somebody who can just go out here and run. All right, because that's not an elite athlete. We're talking about building insane elite athletes, well rounded, that everybody, when they see this guy or this girl, they know that this person is awesome. This person cannot be beat, and they dominate the sport. If you look at LeBron James in basketball, okay, he's one of the biggest guys, one of the strongest guys. He's one of the fastest guys. He jumps higher than everybody because he's developed in all of these areas. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're using endurance training to to so our athletes don't get tired. That's pretty self explanatory, but that's the gist of where we need to train as far as endurance training, and the reason why we should use some kind of endurance training. All right, so flexibility training. This is the last one. Now, flexibility training, the benefit from doing flexibility training is basically to improve our flexibility, obviously, and to reduce injuries. Because if you have an athlete that's stiff, and they can't move, they can't do anything, you know, there's no way that you know they can run fast, because they're so stiff and so tight, and that they're not reaching their full potential because they're not flexible. So you have to make sure you have a strong system and flexibility. Now, there's a right way to do everything, and there's a wrong way to do it. So we have to get an understanding of what flexibility training is. All right. So again, there are 5 different areas that you have to train in order to be a faster runner. You have strength, 2 is speed, 3 is coordination training, 4 will be endurance training, and 5 is flexibility training. So you have to train each athlete. All your workouts should be enhancing all 5 of these areas. Okay, so you have to train your body in all 5 of these areas if you want to be a faster runner. Now, that's the gist of what I do and how I train all my athletes, and by doing so, I'm able to create athletes that in the beginning you will look at them and you'll be like, what in the world, and what am I gonna do with this, but when you train somebody in all 5 of these areas, you start to see them become stronger. They become faster. Their muscles are getting bigger, and they're able to learn. They're able to become coordinated, basically. Okay, and they're flexible, and they're not getting tired. And then eventually, guys, they are an insane athlete that in the beginning you had. If you looked at them, you were like, you can't do anything with them, but you develop all 5 of those areas. So if you want to learn about more about what to do in all 5 of these areas, guys, go ahead and fill out the box down below. Put your email in, and you move on to the next step, and that's learning what to do in all 5 of these steps. So go ahead right now, enter your email, and that way when I post up new videos, you'll be able to get those videos, and you'll learn more about how to train these athletes in all 5 of these areas. Okay, so there's a system for everything. So go ahead right now, just go down below, enter your email, and go ahead and move on to the next step and learn more in detail about all 5 of these areas. So thanks for watching again. My name is Mitch Deering, and good luck to you. Remember, go ahead and enter your email down below and learn more about how to train in all 5 of these areas. All right, see you guys later. All right, peace out.